Howdy doody, folks. Today's video, look at this thing. In fact, I've forgotten what they're called. Is that a baking dish? Is it a sizzler dish? I don't know. Everything we need, apart from a few things, is in that. Huh? Oh, no, I'll take the lid off. Yes, take a good old look at that. Doesn't that look cool? This is a video on what I've got something in my eye. I haven't got something in my eye. Boston, help me. It's all right, it's gone. This is a one-pot chicken pesto mushroom pasta dish. Yes, I just think that looks really, really cool. And the cool thing about this one-pot thing, I thought if I'm going to do a one-pot thing, I'm going to explain the theory of it because I know a lot of you don't like mushrooms. I don't know what's wrong with you. I love mushrooms. I'll explain the theory so you can mix it up any way you want, but then it's actually all done in this. Yes, that is right, isn't it, Boston? Sometimes you get one-pot dishes and they're a little bit like this. That's right, they do actually exist. One-pot recipes, have a good look on the internet. You'll find some, they're like, okay, this is a one-pot recipe. You look and people are like, right, this one's your pan for your pasta. This one's your pan for your sauce. This one's for your veg and your meat. No, if we're doing a one-pot recipe, it means one pot. It means laziness. It's not lazy, it's easy. If you get home from work and you want a 10-minute quick fix, boom, batch cook it. The whole week's done for you. Huh? Do something with your Sunday. In fact, let's fast forward to the end of the video and I'll tell you what it tastes like. Oh, hi there, start of the video. Oh, I think you're gonna love this. Also, check out the Mission Impossible pun during this video. See if you can spot it. Oh, I've got to put those pots back in there, but we literally, as I say, just need this. Let me explain to you some one-pot pan theory so you can customize this. Okay, so let's talk about one-pot theory. There are a couple of other things, and the truth be told, it's only because I couldn't really fit them in the dish. I've got some salt. We need quite a lot of that. That helps to flavor the sauce. Some pepper, and a litre of water. That basically helps to make the sauce as well. It lubricates it and also cooks the pasta. So we take the dish off. Oh yeah. And it does help to have a shallow dish for this because it can help the water evaporate. We're going to cook it right down. Oof. First things first, we've got our oil, okay? So that's going to help cook some of the meats and the garlic and the onions if you're using onions. We're not using onions. You could use onions. I've got to say this is an olive oil with a little bit of basil infused in there. If you want to take it up a notch, you could use things like chili oil and stuff like that. Nice. So to add some flavour, we're going to use garlic. Again, yeah, you could use onions or you could use shallots. That's shallot in terms of ideas I'm going to give you there. Just use your imagination just to drive that flavour in there. Lots of garlic going in. Nice. We're going to use some green pesto. If you've never made your own from scratch, it's super easy. I've done a recipe on the channel before, but you could use red pesto. You could use a tomato sauce. You could use a soup. But if you use a soup, you might want to add a teeny bit less water, okay? How would you hide an animal? Mascarpone. Yes, we're going to use some mascarpone, but you could use sour cream, you could use cream, you could use milk with a little bit of flour, but this is good. This is going to help combine with the pesto and the water to make the sauce. For the herbs, we've gone for basil, okay? So my nickname, love it. And also it's infused in the oil as well, but we'll leave this at the end to garnish it. You can put a few leaves in fact we might, just to wilt in there. Why not? So the meat I'm going for is chicken. This is actually pre-cooked chicken that you buy in the supermarket. That's the thing with this, it only takes about 10 minutes, so don't put in raw chicken breast. Cook it beforehand. You could get away with things like sausages or pre-cooked sandwich meat and things like that, or prawns, yeah, shrimp, that sort of stuff would be all right too. I guess what I'm trying to say is nobody likes a medium rare chicken. Don't shove a chicken breast in there, don't shove a whole chicken in there, don't shove a beef, you know, just use pre-cooked meat ideally. It's easy. The other thing I've got is my veggies, my mushrooms right there, but you could, if you don't like mushrooms, which I've got on Twitter, the hint from that, I don't like mushrooms. Why? Peppers, courgettes, aubergines, anything. Just use your imagination, just pad it out. Beans, chickpeas, all that stuff. And last but not least, this is my pasta. This is some linguine. You could use spaghetti. You could just use standard pasta. Just make sure, because the dish takes around 10 minutes to cook in total, that's similar to the cooking time of your pasta. Most dried pastas are like that. However, if you use fresh pasta, that tends to cook in about 4 to 5 minutes. So you want to add that in a little bit later. Get it going and then chuck it in. You'll see in a minute. Oh, the pasta I'm using is one called Rumo. So you remember when I went out to Italy and I discovered this? All the Italians were raving about it. You can get it in a lot of supermarkets here in the UK and probably everywhere else. But if there's anyone out there that wants to spam Rumo for me and help me maybe get a brand deal with them, I would love to do a video with them on how they make it or something like that. I just really want to meet more Italian people, I think, you know? But that, with all those bits and bobs there, hopefully summarises for you one pot theory. So I was going to do a series of these videos. I don't know if you want me to, I still can. But basically, if you mix and match with those tips and suggestions, you'd be all right. Actually, looking at it, the only thing that needs a little bit of prep, with the Barry Lewis rocker, of course, the garlic rocker, that sounds like a band, doesn't it? The Barry Lewis rocker is the garlic. And I'm going to do the thing to get the skins off the garlic, which Mrs. Barry absolutely hates because it makes the Tupperware stink. Yeah. I have got a gadget for this, a roller tube, which works amazing, but I just feel like making some noise. Remember, folks, real men use Tupperware. I could get that on a t-shirt. Yes, I have made the Tupperware stink, but it does work an absolute charm. So I'm going to rock away the garlic with my Barry Lewis rocker. Info on that coming very, very soon. Hopefully you'll want to get one for your kitchen and you can be just like me. Maybe. I mean, the garlic was done ages ago. I'm just having fun. I was like, oh, that's my name. Cool. Right, that's everything done. That's everything done. All right, Boston, do you think people will mind if I show them a dirty dish from earlier? Well, obviously, I've taken it out now. It's a bit dirty, isn't it? But I just want to show you, obviously, the process of putting it in. All right, so the first thing we'll do is actually put in the salt. I just want to do that now because then I can do my Salt Bae thing. And this is why I use Homer. Check this out. See how that's out of focus? I don't just have cardboard cutouts in my house for a reason. Well, I'm not Macaulay Culkin. You see? So then I can go like this, whoop, that way. Get his eyes. Focus is all in the eyes, folks. See how I'm blurry? Nice. Grab my salt, and now I can Salt Bae. And that, if you ever see anyone asking, is why I have cardboard cutouts. A lot of people are like, why have you got the Queen and Mr. Bean you got? That's why. I just don't always show you doing it. I don't think I ever have. So there you go. The really funny thing is sometimes I don't do it and I'm out of focus anyway, and a lot of you are like, I think that's about the charm. That's what we like about you, Barry. It's authentic. Ooh, hello. Hark! They don't use that phrase enough, do they? Hark! Some salt has appeared. And there in goes our pasta. Now don't worry, obviously as it cooks it's going to get more flexible. This will get quite full. So I'm going to pour in the mushrooms. There's not mushroom left. Sorry. Then goes in the How Do You Hide an Animal. The flavoured oil. Now, do you know what? A chorizo sausage one of this with a little bit of chili oil and the juices and the actual natural oils that come out of the chorizo would be amazing. Hey, ho, pesto. Get it? No. The garlic. Loads of pepper. Now my chicken, this is actually oak smoked chicken as well. I'm just going to tear chunks of that out of these little mini fillet things. Really nice and cooked, all done for you. Yeah, another one is really good is peas and mint. And if you really want to see more of these, I can do them on their own if you want, but I just think that this one video might encompass the theory, and then you guys can just run with it. And I know we're going to put some on at the end, but these will wilt up loads, and it will match up with the oil quite nicely. Just a few basil leaves. It smells so good. And last but not least, the water. So it's like breaking down that pesto already. Lovely jubbly. But obviously its primary role is to make a sauce, and obviously more importantly than that, cook our blooming pasta. Alright, so we can get this onto a medium flame, which is obviously going to warm up the water. We're going to bring it up to a boil, and then we'll start to mix it. I'm just going to leave it for now, just basically let it do the hard work for us. When it comes to the lid, if you think that it's evaporating too quickly, if you stick that on, the water won't evaporate, so it'll keep it a little bit saucy. We don't want to completely evaporate it. If you end up doing that, add more water at the end as well, but also once it cools down, the sauce will thicken up as well. And the final thing just to add is I've got some tongs to help move the spaghetti around because that can get stuck to the bottom, or you've just got a spoon as well. Just depends if you want to beat it. It kind of works. Yep, we are basically now cooking in 10 minutes. That'll be rather stonking. And yes, I have made this shot out of focus on purpose to defeat the point of what I told you a minute ago. You know what I said a minute ago about not adding sort of larger meats that need to be cooked through? Of course you could do that actually. You could use the one pan theory still. Put the oil in only, or maybe a little bit extra oil, and cook up your chicken breast and your beef and all that other stuff. Whatever you want to do, maybe fish. Vegetables, if you're vegetarian, like maybe char up some vegetables, because at the moment those mushrooms are being boiled in pesto, so it's still going to be nice, it's going to be softened, but if you really want that sort of charred taste, particularly if you're vegetarian, you might want to do that first and then bung the rest in. Alright. You can start to see It's starting to bubble. A little bit like the scene from Jurassic Park with the water in the car. The original one. I haven't bothered watching the new ones. Yeah, we're starting to get some action. Yep, in fact, all we're doing is cooking our pasta until it's al dente. Some of you will remember that reference. But this is going to get a little bit hot on the edges there, so I am going to use a little tea towel, and you can just sort of see, oh, we've made that water murky with the pesto, but the mascarpone isn't really doing its thing yet. You want to break it down a little bit, and we will do some gentle mixing in a bit, but obviously make sure, see the little bit of linguine sticking out there? Get it covered, baby. It's got to cook. That's only been 3 minutes, and you can see the linguine is a lot more bendier now, so it's cooking away in there nicely, almost like in a nice gentle simmering bubble bath. Don't go too extreme with it, let it all simmer down. And the only thing I'm regretting now is we don't have any Parmesan here in the kitchen, because that would go great on it at the end. I know I just said a brilliant cheese pun, but it was honestly unintended. So we're just over halfway now, and there's that classic phrase, don't play with your food. I am telling you to play with your food, okay? So how the linguine was all bunched together, now it's softened up, start to lift it through and mingle it with the other ingredients, but be careful not to damage it, okay? It shouldn't break, and I can just feel there was one little strand there that wanted to stick to the bottom, so that you do need to just keep your eye on that. Other than that, that's it. All right, just letting this evaporate then, and that's that. Okie dokie then, folks, you can see the little residue of sauce left in there. Now, this is completely up to you. You can keep it moving, which I say is critical, reduce it right down, but I want mine a teeny bit saucy. You can see some movement in it. Like I said earlier, once that cools down, now it's off the heat, it will thicken up as well and cling. But that's basically it. We are done. It's off the heat. Okie dokie, I have let this cool down for 5 minutes, and the good thing is, if you let it cool down fully, you could freeze it for another day. You could actually help me with something. If you know someone who would look at this dish and think that's mission impassable, well, it's not, okay? I've just shown how easy that is. I was gonna do this blindfolded, but didn't for safety reasons. Send them this way and see if they get inspired to give it a go, will ya? We're just gonna put some basil on it now. Literally me. Well, and a little bit of pepper as well. And the great thing is you can eat this right out of the dish in the middle of a table. And I'm just gonna get some more basil leaves, just stick them on there. But we've got basil oil in there. We've got some of the basil that we did put in there. You wouldn't even know it's in there. It's wilted in, but it all helps. And a nice little bit in the middle like that. I think that looks blooming stonking. Oh my gosh. Bit of mushroom, bit of basil, bit of chicken on there, and of course linguine. Normally you would share a bowl this size, and I will, but it's just me here at the moment. You have to just trust me that I like it. Yes, that's very nice indeed. It's so basil-y. So I'm Basil, I make my basil dishes only. It's humble, it's a humble dish. It looks innocent, there's not much to it because we put hardly any effort into that. But it's flavour packed. You could sprinkle some pine nuts on there now, some Parmesan like I mentioned, but it's really all about like combining whatever ideas you have. If you want to see me make more of these one pot recipes, I'm happy to. Let me know down below, but I really hope you try it. If you do, send a picture. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, it's so good.
Check your level, player. No matter what your style, the kitchen's for me. Someone's moustache, goatee, maybe all three.
Oh, and of course, because it's linguine, it's a little bit thicker, which helps to do a good Hulk Hogan impression. So if you're full up after eating it, what you gonna do, brother, when the one-pot recipe comes running after you? Just try it, you'll love it.